Hello everyone, hola, good afternoon. Welcome to, what day is it today? Friday's little interlude of channeling love up in the mountains. I'm going to take us on a little walk down to one of our lower terraces and I'm going to try and sit on the swing. I thought that might be fun. So anyway, that's our house, that's our home. We live off grid. That's one of the water storage cubes for when we store water. And oh, now we've got some wind. So I'm just going to take a little walk down. We honestly, every morning that we wake up, we feel so blessed. This is our water storage tank to give us water over the winter. Not over the winter, over the summer, because there's no water flowing to this area of the mountain during the winter. No, the summer, Sally. I'm already in the zone. Hi, Dolores. Hello. I don't have my glasses, so I am going to try and just squint my way through this. Hi, Fiona. So, we were so blessed to find this little piece of heaven, this little piece of magic. We manifested it, we created it, we loved it, we lived in it before it even came into our real world. And every day is an absolute blessing to be here and live off grid, away from the maddening world. Because, we like nature, we love nature. And here we go on the swing. It's a bit precarious. Oh shit! So this will be an interesting video, especially when the star beings come through. So I wanted today just to share you a little bit about my own first experiences of discovering what healing was all about. I spent my 20s and early 30s just being normal, or as normal as I could be, living a normal life. I had a job, a career with the airlines. I was a supervisor on long-haul flights for British Airways. And life was okay, and life was good. I travelled the world. It was great. I was living in Brighton. I really enjoyed my life. And then all of a sudden, wham bam, my father died. He died very suddenly, unexpectedly, in the mid-90s. And it was while I was actually on holiday in Australia. So I was the other side of the world when I got the horrendous phone call to come back home as soon as possible. And long story short was that I didn't make it in time to say goodbye. And that absolutely destroyed me. And even though I hadn't, see my throat's already going. Even though I hadn't felt that close to my father during his life, there was a deep love there that neither of us were able to express, and there was quite a lot of miscommunication and disconnection because we were so different. He was high up in the Royal Navy and I was a bit of a wild child, a bit of a rebel, and far too emotional and sensitive for his conditioning. So we never really found our balance while he was alive. And the shock of actually losing my father, and this is where I'm probably jumping ahead too quickly, but not long after my father died, I started to have some really weird and wonderful symptoms with my digestive system, and the doctors couldn't figure it out, and it went into years of symptoms and discomfort and loss of control and panic, and then I started getting horrendous panic attacks as well. So it really was a good few years after my father died that I just struggled with these symptoms in silence, really. I didn't really tell anyone. I went to the doctors, they couldn't figure it out, they couldn't find anything wrong with me, but neither could they fix me, as it were. And eventually I opened up to a friend, and she said, well, why don't you go and try reflexology? And I was like, well, what? And hi Wilma, hi Jane. And I said, well, what's reflexology? I don't know what that is. So she said, oh, it's a foot massage, it's a holistic therapy, why don't you go and give it a shot? And I was at that point of really trying anything. And not being at all in tune with anything spiritual or holistic, I went along not having a clue of what to expect. And an hour later, I was absolutely comatose on the therapy bed, and she left me there for half an hour. The energy was so incredible that I was just wiped out by it. And I went back again and again and again, probably only about 5 times actually. And by the end of those 5 treatments, my physical symptoms had healed. And I had no idea how. I still suffered from panic attacks. It was the leftovers of, not having control over my body and worrying because you're flying around the world. You don't always have access to a loo. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling you all this. Holy moly. So, okay. So I discovered the reflexology, and then I was so inspired by how it had helped me. I went to learn it, and literally it was so bizarre. I was living in Brighton at the time. I was lying on the sofa, totally jet lagged off a flight, and watching Richard and Judy, but not really watching it. And on came this segment about a reflexologist and how she was building a life around her holistic therapies. And all of a sudden this light bulb moment went off, and it was like, oh my God, I've got to learn reflexology. This is something really special and amazing. And literally within 2 weeks, I'd found a reflexology course, an accredited reflexology course in Brighton. And within a couple of months it was starting, and hey presto, that is what happened. And then also I was able to get a part-time contract with flying, so it was easy for me to make the classes. Didn't make them all, but it was easier for me to make the weekends that we spent learning reflexology. And that course took a year, and then I was still flying, and I thought, right, I'm going to build up a practice. I'm going to be a reflexologist and a hostie, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. And it was. And then my life changed again when I was introduced to Chris Stormer Fryer, who is one of the big names in reflexology. She's a visionary, she's an author, and she had channeled through a way of working with the feet where you can actually read the feet for the messages about your spiritual, emotional and energetic well-being. So everything that you see on your foot is a message about you. It tells you all about you. And hey presto, believe it or not, she was running a 5-day course in Edinburgh. Now, by now, this is a few years down the line, I was living in Brazil with my then ex-husband, and I flew back to Edinburgh and I did the 5-day course with Chris. And again, it was utterly life-changing, and it gave me one of my most profound spiritual awakening moments. And I think I've shared that on other live streams, and I've certainly shared it in the Healing Portal Tribe group. So that has been my journey in discovering healing. It came from my own ill health. It came from my own need to find answers where the medical profession couldn't help me. It came from the fact that I had horrendous panic attacks, which have now healed. It's years since I've had a panic attack, but it also means that I totally understand what it's like to suffer from symptoms and conditions that the medical world can't answer or define, and to feel completely lost and alone and helpless. And any person that comes to me is totally accepted and understood and seen and heard, because we are all individuals, we are all unique. And while a disease or a symptom or a condition may have a structure or an outline to the medical profession, to me and to my understanding and my approach to healing, it is an expression of you to be loved, to be understood, to be heard, to be embraced, to be integrated, and using the power of love and self-love and the star beings. There are times when the symptoms will release completely, just like it happened for me, because the emotional shock of you losing my father was what was behind my physical symptoms, and yet the medical profession just didn't understand that at all. So I just wanted to share that. It's a personal story about how I discovered healing. It's not like I suddenly became a healer and a channel. It has been a process of years of my own discovery, my own healing, my own challenges, and also of just allowing the magic to flow, and of discovering the flow, and of trusting the weirdness and the wonderfulness that sometimes comes into our life for the highest reasons, and yet at the time we really haven't got a clue what it's all about. So thank you all for listening to that. Still can't believe I told you all of that. And let's just share some light language. As you all know, next week is the opening of the Star Beings online healing portal. We start on Thursday afternoon with the creation of their earth mandala to anchor their energy and their light into this beautiful land. And then over the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we move into some really beautiful deep immersion into their healing presence and their vibration, along with some posts and live streams a bit like this, where I talk and share about what's happening on the day and can see where everyone's at and how everyone's doing. And of course, some of the channelings are through Zoom, so we are really coming together in physical circle as well as online circle. So if you'd like to join me and just immerse in a little bit of the healing energy that comes through the Star Beings, if I can just balance myself on the swing as I move into a different state of consciousness. Let's do this. Okay, so just closing your eyes, getting yourself comfortable, and just making this commitment to yourself to take these following minutes for your own healing, your own awakening, your own well-being. Anything that you want to shift, you're now creating a portal to embody, release, transform, transmute, dissolve, and receive. And it's all through the Star Beings vibration that I'm just going to start to bring through. So deepening your breath. Hoping the gentle wind that's here isn't interfering too much. Closing your eyes and just taking yourself into your heart, into this moment, beyond time, beyond space. Just allowing yourself to still. Almost like you're dropping into the space of nothing, and yet that nothing holds everything that you need at this time. Slowing your breath down, breathing through your heart. Long, slow, deep breaths that bring you into the center of you. And just be aware of feeling your feet upon Mother Earth, feeling the grass or the rock or the sand. Just allow yourself to sink into that feeling of being held. Grounding yourself through Mother Earth helps release any tension in your body. It allows you to relax more deeply and to surrender and let go. Using your breath to fully bring your awareness into your inner world and your heart. And within your heart you see a spark of light. And with every breath that light brightens and strengthens. Expanding and moving through every muscle, every bone, every cell, every part of your being becoming infused with light and love. And that light expands out around you. Expands out around the world. It expands out into the universe. With every breath, your light becomes stronger and brighter. And it merges with Source, the source of love, the source of all that is, the universe. And you feel that love magnified within you and around you. I'm just going to take a couple of moments now to really step aside enough for the light language to come through and for the star beings to come in for all of you. Just allowing your breath to be your focus through the stillness and surrendering into the love. No manahera makata paya mo kapaya da para de pakata makata yoro pakata marada yoro pakata pede do pakata pada de maraka pata to manakata pada yo makata pakata yoro makata pada yoro makata yoro pakata 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 de para yoro pakata 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 to para pakata panamaya ma kata pede do pakata maya ma to pakata yoro makata maya ma to para yo makata pede yo makata paya ma da para pakata pede do pada ya no, para pakata jamana kata paya ma yo paya kata paya ma yo para pakata ma ya ma kata mo ya ra pakata kata pede kata para yo pakata pada para pakata para to para kata pa to para ma yo pakata ma de pakata yo pakata para yo para pakata para yo pakata yo pakata hey para ma ke ma yo pakata pakata hey baraka patata ma yo pakata pede pakata patata pakata pada yo pakata pada yo pakata ma kata to pakata para yo pakata to yo pakata to berapa pakata pakana ya pa yo makara yo pakata pakata pa hey baraka pakata pada yo pakata pakka. The frequencies, the harmonics to move through you, to be felt, to be sensed, without any need of being understood. Just allowing your breath to really hold you in this beautiful state of being, of presence, understand, to explain, to describe, to make things more comprehensible. When we let go of all of that, this is where the magic happens. It's through the vibration, it's through energy, it's through surrendering into our hearts, it's through allowing our multidimensional presence to be our truth through everyday life. And for us to take this love into everyday life, because that's where our healing is. And when we do that, we hold a higher vibration, and it has the butterfly effect of taking more love out into this world. So thank you for being with me today. Thank you for witnessing my sharing of my story, of my past, and of my discovery of my own healing, and of what healing really is, and what it is for me anyway. And just wishing you all a wonderful day. If you'd like more information about the Healing Portal, I'll put it in the comments here. And we start next Thursday. I'd really love to share it all with you. Just sending you all so much love. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dolores. Thank you, Margaret. Debbie, hello. Oh, it's Debbie from my flying years. Oh, cancel. That's me and my fingers. I really shouldn't touch the screen when I'm still sort of in the zone. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful rest of day, and let's just see if I can get a view for you. See if it comes through out into the mountains there. This is our little bit of paradise, proving that dreams do come true. Lots of love to you all. See you soon.